What's going on, everybody? Welcome to ICNV Drivers Edition. Today's video, I told you in the last video I would talk to you guys more about what is actually being portrayed or received, the message that the dealers are receiving from the information that GM released. And I think it's going to catch a lot of people by surprise. So let's dive right into that video. GM put the smackdown on dealers, or is it really just fluffery to make you feel like they put the smackdown? Let's go. Ever since GM has released this letter stating that they do not approve of the over MSRP pricing, and they told the dealers to stop because it's breaking the relationship or hurting the relationship, people have actually started to feel uplifted and become like more of a movement or uprise. I see a lot of people actually now getting into arguments with dealerships saying that they cannot sell a car over MSRP. Well, that's not quite exactly how this is playing out. When I talk to my contacts at the dealership, I know a couple owners and GSMs of several Chevy stores, and how they were portraying it to me is it's not so much that you can't sell a vehicle over MSRP, because you still can do that. They have rights in their contracts that state this. I spoke with a couple friends who are, very high up at Chevy dealers, and I'm honestly trying to get somebody to give me a copy, or at least let me see a copy so I can read it myself, of kind of what their actual agreement is as a franchise tag owner of a Chevy store, or just in conjunction with General Motors, period, so I can give you more clarification. But from what I'm being told is that they can still sell you cars over MSRP. I'm starting to see posts on Facebook and Corvette groups that are kind of speaking off the same information. Like I told you in my GM Put the Smackdown video, and is it going to stop dealers from over MSRP pricing? Well, I know one of the things inside the contracts that they have is they are allowed to put on aftermarket adjustments. And I mean aftermarket equipment. And they're allowed to charge you for aftermarket equipment. So what I see some dealers doing that's selling over MSRP is they're adding packages to the car, which to me can be fluff, which can be whatever you want it to be. And I really want to say, Chevy dude actually came out and kind of made a statement about it, where he was saying that, people will put pinstriping on a car and then charge you $10,000 or charge you $20,000. Is it worth $20,000 for pinstriping? No. But if you're willing to pay, if that's the loophole they got to do or utilize to get their over MSRP pricing, dealers will do it. If they have to sell the car to somebody else to then return sell it on the used market, that's what dealers will do. Dealers are very creative of finding loopholes and getting out of predicaments, and that's why I try to tell people all the time, I'm not 100% pro dealer. That's why some people try to say that to me when I am explaining the insides of how dealers navigate around rules. I'm saying that to you to explain to you as the customer, so you can understand what they're doing to you, and you can have more control in what you allow yourself to purchase or how your money gets used. Because to me, I tell everybody, buy the best bang for your buck, get the best deal you can possibly get. And not every situation you're going to win on pricing. You may not be able to get the bill to move with pricing, but you may be able to get a warranty thrown in, some ceramic coating, things of that nature, a will entire package, so forth, that makes the deal worth it. And that's all I sit there and say is that's my car buying tip for everybody is sometimes it's not about the actual what you pay for the car, it's about what you get for what you pay. So when I say this to you, I want you to understand that the dealers are very crafty and creative. It's kind of like being in Vegas, and I hate to use this scenario, but it's like being in Vegas. And I say that because in Vegas, the house is set up to win. Think of the dealerships as the house. They are set up to win. Everybody that goes to a dealer is not going to walk away unscathed, unharmed, undamaged. Some people are actually going to get caught up in the chaos of the dealership world. Some people are not going to take the time or want to take the time to shop around and find a great deal. So you're going to allow yourself to get exploited, or just feel like what you're paying is okay, because what I started to realize, people is what they call human nature. If you want something long enough and you can't get it, you will start to convince yourself it's okay to pay what you don't want to pay. So the longer you're pursuing it, the next thing you know, where you once said, I'm only going to pay MSRP for a car, you'll talk yourself into the point where 5-10 grand ain't bad, 15 grand ain't bad. Based off what everybody else is paying and your desire to own it, you will convince yourself it's okay to pay more money. That's human nature. So a lot of people will follow that route and that pursuit, and I've seen it more and more on Facebook, whereas I watched some people in comments say, I'm not going to pay over MSRP for a vehicle. I'll wait a year. It ain't that long. And then this was honestly April 2021. I've seen 12 people that said that post to me in between March and May of last year get in line for a car so they get a 2021. It didn't happen. Now they're in line for a 2022. All this stuff is going on. They contacted the dealers they're in line with, or I guess, yeah, they contacted the dealers they're on the list with, based off the supply chain constraints and other issues that GM has been facing, and them removing packages and so forth, that the car they want, they may not get for another 6 to 8 months. Now, all of a sudden, I see the post saying, yeah, couldn't wait, ran across this deal, not that bad. And all of a sudden, you're now paying 10-15 grand over MSRP for the same car you said back in March, April, and May you would never pay over MSRP for. But you find it on the used market, and you're like, oh, I picked up this nice car, the dealer has 500 miles, 1,500 miles, and you're buying it. To me, that's an oxymoron. And I say that to you because you just bought a car 8 months later. Maybe your financial situation wasn't the same back then, who knows? But you pretty much bought the same car 8-10 months later that you could have had 10 months ago, enjoyed the summer, had fun with it. But now you're doing it for the summer of 2022 when you could have had a 2021 at the beginning of the year. So that's kind of drifting away from the point, but that's what's been taking place. And my point is, real quick, hit the like and subscribe. Help me break the YouTube algorithms. Help share the video so you get the information out. I appreciate your support. Thank you for tuning in. Back to the information. What the dealers are telling me is that the whole purpose of the letter, or how they're perceiving it, is that anybody that signed up, and here's the good news for you people, anybody that went to an arrangement with a General Motors dealership or a Chevy dealership to pay MSRP pricing for a vehicle prior to them notifying you that there will now be a market adjustment, that's who Chevy's frowning on. That's who GM is coming after. I don't know if it's true, but that's how a lot of these dealers, I've been told by 6 dealerships and about 13 people, that's how this is actually structured. Now, I will say this to you. I don't feel like you get the same information from one person now it's spreading like wildfire, like a rumor, but that could also be the case. But I feel like my history with dealerships is they have lawyers. You send out when you get information like this that pretty much is attacking you or threatening to do damage to your business, you get your lawyers involved. That's why I say most dealerships can handle a customer coming and complaining saying I'm going to sue, because you got to come out of pocket a lot of time to sue. You got to convince a lawyer that the case that they're chasing is actually worth pursuing, whereas a dealership has lawyers on reserve. They have an account. They have people that they turn to. They have their own legal department. So they're prepared from Jump Street to fight you back before you ever even find somebody to say, I'm willing to take your case. So with that being said, they're telling me that the intent of this announcement by GM is to come after people or come after dealerships. Let's rephrase that. The intent is to come after dealerships that promised customers MSRP pricing and now have decided not to honor it. So if you were promised MSRP pricing and your dealer decided not to honor that promise, now you can turn to GM and say, hey, this dealer told me they would give me the car for MSRP. Now they're offering me the car for 15 grand over MSRP. That's not the deal that you had arranged. That's breaking faith. That's breaking the faith and the commitment with the dealership or with General Motors. And the reason behind that is, and I'll explain to you, is because if they would have told you they were going to charge at a market adjustment, it wouldn't have stopped the customer from shopping and pursuing other avenues to acquire the vehicle at MSRP. But because they told you they were going to sell at MSRP and decided not to honor that, they technically put you in a bad place, because now any other outlet you could have pursued to get a car at MSRP or at a fair price or at a better bargain than what they're offering you, they took that power away from you and they misled you. And that's what GM is not liking. They are not liking the misleading of their customers and promising them one thing and then turning around and doing something different. So if you were told that they were going to sell you a vehicle over MSRP and you agreed to it, you're kind of stuck in that boat. If you go to a dealership that said they were already selling the MSRP, but then when you turn around and decide to do your deal, but you haven't committed or haven't given them a deposit, and they say, now we've changed our mind, we're going to sell at a premium, and you agree to it, this letter was not meant for you. The letter was meant for those people that said they were in a contract, or, and I hate to say it, they really wasn't in a contract, but the people that said they had came to some form of agreement back in 2020 for Z06. I got on the list, I'm number 2 on the list. I got on the list, I'm number 1. They said MSRP price and MSRP price. Then all of a sudden, a year and a half later, after the GM said that Z06 was coming, after the reveal, you're talking about November, December, October, you now say, hey, we're going to sell this car at market value, but you were on a line with them. You got on their list saying MSRP pricing well over a year ago. That wasn't fair to you. And so that's why they came out with this letter. That's what I'm being told. That's the purpose of the letter. So you're hearing it here from me, just to clarify what this letter is supposed to be. If you have some information that proves this is wrong, by all means share it. Let's talk about it. Drop me a comment in the description below. But that's what I'm hearing from dealerships. That's what I heard from the contacts I actually have at dealerships. So I feel like there's some truth behind it, but only time will tell. If not, let's see if GM actually steps up and starts disciplining somebody, because that will make people step up and pay attention. As long as there's no repercussions, right now it's just all talk. ICNV Drivers Edition, thank you for tuning in. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to share the information. Peace.